Kvar, we're headed to Korčula town on the island of Korčula. To get there, we'll be going along most of the length of Kvar Island, about 40 miles. Okonji Lighthouse is about halfway to Korčula. That's Korčula Island in the background. We've entered Paliashots Channel between Korčula Island and the Paliashots Peninsula, which is part of the mainland. Kvar Island is in the background. Our first view of Korčula town is St. Nicola Church and Monastery. Building outside the town's walls was forbidden until the 18th century. That started the town's expansion in this direction. The Dominican convent was established in 1905. The old town sits strategically on a thumb of land jutting out into the channel. As we pulled up to the dock, we were confronted by significant fortifications. Lombardo Tower was built in 1449. Governor's Tower followed in 1483. Both towers were intended to protect the governor's palace. The Rebelin Tower dates from the 13th century and guards the southern entrance to the town. The Venetian lion is displayed on the Rebelin Tower. The Republic of Venice ruled Korčula in various forms from the 12th century to 1797. The steps leading to the southern city gate on the Rebelin Tower were built in 1863, replacing a wooden drawbridge. Buildings of the old town are predominantly Venetian Renaissance in style. The old town is completely surrounded by a masonry wall. The Brotherhood of All Saints was established in 1301. It brought together pious lay people to do charity work for the community. Today, the Brotherhood Hall is a museum featuring a unique collection of 13th to 16th century Byzantine icons and 17th and 18th century ceremonial pieces. These candle holders are carried by Brotherhood members in processionals during Holy Week. The chapel of the Brotherhood Hall is an amazing collection of religious art. The central altar sculpture dates to 1723. This polyptych was painted in 1439. The ceiling was finished in 1630. The front panels of the choir are decorated with paintings of Christ and the 12 disciples. St. Mark's Square is the central square of the old town. St. Mark's Cathedral shares the square with several palaces. The Korčula Town Museum is located in Gabrielis Palace, which was built between the 13th and the 16th centuries. Arneri Palace was built in the Venetian Gothic style in the late 16th and early 17th centuries. This flag column in St. Mark's Square is inscribed with the date 1515. St. Mark's Cathedral is the most important building in Old Town. It was completed in the 15th century in Gothic Renaissance style. The cathedral sits on the highest ground in the Old Town. The main entrance is framed by statues of lions, Adam and Eve, and a stern-looking bishop. The clock on the bell tower features a brass ball displaying the phases of the moon. The main altar holds relics of St. Theodore. The altar piece is by Tintoretto and dates to 1550. The column capitals are decorated with intricate carvings. This sarcophagus is for Bishop Toma Malumbra, who oversaw the building of this cathedral. He was Bishop of Korčula for 50 years and died in 1513. This side altar is the oldest in the cathedral. It is dedicated to the three kings. It dates to before 1613. This side altar replaced a damaged one in the 18th century, but the wooden figures are from the 1576 altar. We leave the cathedral through its side door. It seems there's a church around every corner in Old Town. St. Peter's is one of the oldest, dating to the 14th century. The streets of Old Town are laid out with narrow streets that branch off of Main Street like a fishbone. All the narrow streets have steps. The exception is the street alongside the southeastern wall. The street is called the Street of Thoughts, as one didn't have to worry about the steps. Tower Konalevchik was built between 1485 and 1488. It underwent restoration in 2007. The Church of the Assumption of the Most Holy Mother of God is a Greek Orthodox church. We're just about back to where we started. That's the Governor's Palace and Lombardo Tower. Then back through Revlin Tower and the South Gate. And down the stairs to the pier. The channel is very narrow here. That's the mainland of Croatia over there. And that's where we're headed next. We say goodbye to Korčula, a charming old town frozen in time. There's the bell tower of St. Mark's Cathedral on the highest ground. Our next stop is Mali Ston on the mainland of Croatia. Mali Ston is famous for two things. The first is the walls of stone, originally more than 4 miles long, that protected the city of Stone. Construction began in 1358 and was completed in the 15th century. Along the walls were 40 towers and 5 fortresses. The second thing that Mali Ston is famous for is shellfish, which have been farmed in this bay since Roman times. At the small harbor, we meet Dennis Drajata, who will explain how aquaculture works here. The young oysters are glued to a line and left to mature. These mature oysters are ready for our tasting today. Dennis and his daughter shuck the oysters and cook up a pot of mussels. Sherry's not fond of oysters, so I get her portion too. Sherry has the same opinion of mussels, but they're some of the best I've ever eaten. Back on Mali Ston Bay, Dennis takes us back to the slip where our driver is waiting to take us to Dubrovnik.